Hi guys, I'm joined by Stevie Ray from the PFL. Stevie is due to fight Clay Collard on the 23rd of this month at PFL 6. Thanks for joining me today, Stevie. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. I just wanted to kind of start off with the stuff that really matters. I wanted to ask you, how is your daughter's recovery going?
Yeah, so far so good. Um, she's yeah, you wouldn't even think she's had surgery. So yeah, it's pretty good. Apart from obviously she's got a big scar on her head, but yeah, so far so good. Just need to kind of wait, just a waiting game now. But hopefully it just continues like that.
Yeah, good to hear. So when you got the call to say that you'd be facing Clay, did you feel that was a favourable matchup for you, would you say?
Yeah, well, I said to even my coach a while ago that I would like to go against Clay. Just style wise, I think it's a good fight for me. He's he looks handy on the feet. He's tall, rangy, and I think it'll bring a good fight out in the both of us. Um, so yeah, and then I kind of called him out a little bit on social media as well. There was a post, I think it was like part of his fight was played or something, and I just commented on it saying that I would like to fight him. Those are the kind of fights that I'm wanting. Because obviously when I fought Nathan, it was a wee bit frustrating. It was all on the ground. He just kind of took me down, held me down, frustrating, but part of the sport. So yeah, I've obviously got back to training, worked on some stuff, even though I don't think that Clay is going to try and do that to me.
So you feel like you can stand with him then? Is part of the game plan going to be to try and take the back?
Well, the thing is, he's obviously predominantly like boxing. He's got decent hands. He does throw kicks and knees as well. He doesn't look the most powerful guy, but he has got 10 knockouts, I think. So, I mean, I've watched some of his footage, nothing too much. I don't like watching too much, but I've watched some of his last few fights. I watched, I think, one or two of his boxing fights as well. His pro boxing record isn't that great, so it's not like, you know, he's not like an undefeated pro boxer where I'm worried about standing and trading with him. But that being said, I'm not going to go in and just do a boxing match either. It's an MMA fight.
Yeah. So obviously you announced your retirement a few years ago and you decided to come back. What was it about the PFL announcement, would you say?
Well, my initial retirement, it was there was kind of this thing going on with the UFC where I was kind of basically I was released, but it was me. We decided for me to go as a free agent and try and sign with another company. But at the time, my knees were bad. Both my knees were kind of injured, just with arthritis problems, like wear and tear. Something that wasn't like I could just get a surgery and fix. So it was just the wear and tear of my knees. And the professional guy or whatever, the specialist told the UFC that it wasn't a quick fix, and it was just and I was going to be at risk of pulling out fights and stuff like that. So anyway, we separated. It was also COVID, so shows were getting cancelled. The world was falling to bits at that time, and that's the only reason my retirement was longer than it was. I knew pretty straight away, like, that it was an emotional decision that I was going to fight again. It was just, like I said, a case of there was nowhere to fight. And then the PFL came around, so that was me back to it.
Yeah, the PFL have been making moves lately, haven't they? With signing Francis Ngannou, Cedric Doumbé. Do you feel like they're going in the right direction as a promotion right now?
Yeah, even when I signed with them, like I didn't really watch the PFL before I signed with them or that, but like I had heard of them and just like I don't know, I just believed it was the right time. The Channel 4 deal was starting, so you know it was getting bigger in the UK. They started signing UK fighters, Brendan Loughnane, my teammate Dylan Took, and some other UK fighters as well. Obviously myself. And yeah, now they've got the deal with DAZN. Yeah, I just knew that, you know, even hearing Peter Murray, the way he was speaking about the company, the way he was saying that, you know, he was a fighter first company, you know, he was there to look after the fighters. That's what the fighters are looking to hear. And yeah, obviously this deal with Francis Ngannou's showed everybody that, you know, the PFL are here to stay. They're here to rival the UFC. If not even take over. I believe that, you know, there'll be other UFC athletes now thinking about maybe coming across. Shane Burgos came across through his own choice. And it even shows you that, like, you know, some of the UFC guys that have came across, that they've not done that well. Some of them, like Anthony Pettis, obviously. Shane Burgos lost his fight to Olivier. So it just shows you that, like, it's a high level as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You came so close to that $1 million check last time around, and I was wondering if you've made any changes to your game so far because of that defeat.
Not really, to be honest. Like, obviously, know about fucking no switching off and keeping my hands up, and that shot was just like the perfect shot at the perfect time. Fair play to him. You know, I've watched it back fucking multiple times now because obviously it's always on social media. Fucking clipped right on the chin. It's just a perfect punch. He cracked me right on the chin. It was a right hook, so obviously no usually used to getting a right hook because he was southpaw. And yeah, he just no excuses. He caught me on the chin. It was a good shot, and yeah, I mean, I have worked. Everybody, man, and Natan both came after my legs with the calf kicks.
Yeah, you must feel that you're capable of going all the way though next time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I could go the whole way. I mean, fighting's just one of those sports. Like, it doesn't matter how confident you are. Sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you've trained, how good a fighter you are. Like you see in loads of fights, like you could be winning a whole fight and then get knocked out at the end of it, or get submitted, or break your leg. Like, there's multiple different ways to win a fight, and that's why I think it's so interesting compared to boxing. Usually the better boxer is always going to win, whereas MMA is obviously a lot more diverse, loads of different ways to win. But yeah, I believe in my skill set on the ground, on the feet, to be able to beat anyone, really. I'm always hard working. I put in the work. I'm feeling confident for this fight, and stylistically, I think I match up well with Clay. And as always, I'm going to come and fucking try and take his head off. We'll try and knock him out or submit him, especially because I need the points to try and qualify like last year.
Yeah, you've talked quite candidly about your mental health struggles and on that BBC documentary as well. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about how that's affected you as a fighter, and do you have any advice for those going through similar things?
Yeah, so my mental health is good now. I mean, that part of the documentary, obviously, I'd just been knocked out. So I'd just been knocked out for $1 million. So, of course, I'm not going to lie, I was fucking a bit depressed for a bit.
Of course.
I mean, I thought I was okay when I was in New York after the fight. Like, in New York, I still had a good time. I was there for another 4 or 5 days. I just, you know, tried to enjoy myself. Drank some alcohol, ate some pizza, and then like it started hitting me. You know, it's like I started remembering, you know, I lost the chance of winning $1 million, and then I think even physically, I think when you get knocked out, it can literally cause it can cause you to be depressed because you've just had a brain injury, if you like. Because obviously when you get knocked out, it's your brain putting you to sleep to protect the part of the brain that's just been damaged. But so yeah, I think there's something in that. Like physically, when you get hit, that it can cause depression. Because the 2 times I've been depressed in my life is when I got knocked out. When I got knocked out of Paul Felder, and when I got knocked out of Olivia. I've been knocked out one other time against Leonardo Santos, 3 times in my career. I was fine after that fight, but I think it's just because I got a quick turnaround. I fought Michael Johnson. I had a huge opportunity and I ended up winning that fight. It was the biggest win in my career. But advice is just fucking speak to people. Speak to people, get a routine. I think routine is one of the biggest things in life for your mental health. I think a lot of the depression and anxiety and all stuff, it comes from overthinking. So when you're busy, you're not thinking about it. And that's why going to the gym or doing boxing, jiu-jitsu, your brain has to think about the techniques. Or even running on a treadmill. Sometimes you just got to focus on running. So it stops your brain from thinking about all the bad shit in your life. So exercise is obviously a really big one for helping with your mental health. Try and stay away from alcohol and drugs and all that, because that is sometimes what people go to. Like when you're having a hard time, there's even times where I've been stressed and I just feel like going to the shop and buying some drink, but that's just delaying the problem. You're just masking it. So yeah, figure out what the problem is. Why do you feel the way you feel? If you can change it, then change it, and if you can't change it, stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that greatly, and I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said how important exercise is. It's like when you train, when I train as well. I think about nothing but the training, nothing but the techniques. I can only think about that in the moment, and it is really therapeutic. And you mentioned that you're going to be thinking about your. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, obviously you can't train 24/7, but it takes your mind off things for an hour, and then if even after the exercise, then you're thinking again, and it's obviously because maybe there's something going on in your life that you need to fix, or just you're overthinking. Like that's why I think people that work full time, or people that retire, sometimes when you're depressed, you think it's money problems, and if you had money, that it would fix your life. But you look at some billionaires in the world; they've got all the money in the world, and they're depressed, they're suicidal. I don't think there's definitely the overthinking, because even the 2 times that I was depressed, like a lot of it was just overthinking about shit that my life was pretty good. You just got to try and be grateful for what you've got. Think of the stuff that's positive, and a positive mindset. I mean, being around positive people goes a long way as well, because whoever you hang around with has an effect on you. That's why the old saying goes, like, if you hang about with 5 millionaires, you'll become the 6th. But I didn't really understand that until a wee while ago, and it's like, see, if you hang about with someone that drinks alcohol all the time, there's a good chance you're probably going to end up drinking alcohol with them. If you hang about with somebody that goes to the gym all the time, there's a good chance you might end up going to the gym with them, or doing that. And that's where I think the whole hang about with 5 millionaires that you'll become the 6th. It's just like, surround yourself with positive people that are doing the things that you want to do in your life. If you're hanging about with somebody that's fucking a loser or a bad influence, even if you're very what's the word? Even if you're very not got a very good what's the word I'm looking for? You give in too easy. Like if you give in too easy, then and it's your own fault. But it still helps if you don't hang around with that person that's persuading you. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I could go on for fucking ages though, like about this, like, but aye, my mental health is pretty good now. But it does obviously have ups and downs. Those are the 2 times I've been major depressed in my life. And my life was still good at that time. You know, I had money, I had, healthy kids, healthy family, people that loved me. Fucking, it's just overthinking things sometimes.
Yeah, well said. You said in the your next fight coming up, you're going to be thinking about your daughter, and she must be a massive inspiration to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like it doesn't matter how tough this fight is going to be. If I end up in a tough position, I'm going to think how much she's just smashed, like her recovery and getting her brain cut open, her head cut open, her skull partially taken away. Obviously, some of her brain removed. To then, yeah, just for her to bounce back so quick, and it just makes you think like there's nothing in this fight that's going to be harder than that. So yeah, if I do end up in a bad position or where I just need to dig deep, because sometimes it is the fighter that wants it the most, the fighter that's willing to give it everything. And I've won fights in the past, just purely down to heart and determination and wanting to win more. So yeah, I mean, if it helps in the fight, then great. I'm hoping that I don't need to think about any of that stuff, and I'm just going to go out there and get the win anyway due to my skill set. But yeah, it's there if I need it.
I know you're focused on Clay, but is there anyone else that you've got your eye on at the moment? Any dream matchups that you would like going forward?
I just like big names, big fights. Shane Burgos is a big name. That would be a cool fight. But yeah, anybody that's like going to be on my way. I mean, the way I'm looking at the table, I think it's going to be up to either myself or Burgos. That's going to be the fourth guy qualifying, because Natan is fighting Manfield, which kind of puts one of them out. I'm kind of hoping that Natan wins, because if me and Natan end up on the same amount of points, they'll put him through over me, because he beat me, obviously. So I'm hoping Natan wins, beats Manfield. I think Natan will go through. I think Olivier's going to go through. And I think the other kid, the Brazilian, Bruno, I think he'll probably qualify as well. And then it's a fight for fourth place. So I think if I could get past Clay, get a good win, then I'll be in the fourth place. But it also depends on what happens in this Shane Burgos fight with the Japanese dude. I'm obviously going to be, and they're after me as well, which is a wee bit rubbish this time, because I can maybe beat Clay, be in the fourth place spot, and then I'll have to watch that fight, hoping it goes to a decision. They're one fight after me. Last year, I knew exactly how many points I needed and what time I needed it in, and that's only because the PFL gave Anthony Pettis a little bit of like special treatment. He got injured, I think, and he was later, so we were actually the only lightweight fight that was after them. So yeah, a wee bit of a different position, but I'm going to try and take Clay. Obviously, it's quicker the better. If I can go in there and punch him and put him to sleep, great. That's what I'm going to try and do. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't get paid by the hour, do you? So yeah, I can imagine.
Well, it's especially in the PFL as well. Like, you get more points the quicker you finish the fight. 6 points for the first round finish, 5 points for second round, 4 points for a third round finish, and 3 points for a decision win. So the quicker I can beat them, the more chance I've got of qualifying.
Of course.
Yeah, and then obviously if I do qualify, it means I might get a rematch with either Olivier or Nathan. I'd like to obviously try and get both those wins back. And yeah, And if I didn't qualify, then yeah, maybe a future fight with Burgos would be cool.
I'd love to see it. If people want to tune into the fight on the 23rd, how can they go about doing that?
I'm sure I'm sure for the UK it's on DAZN. So that DAZN shows a lot of boxing. It's a European channel. So yeah, make sure you've got DAZN ready for. I'm sure you can, like, if you didn't want to pay for it the whole year or whatever, you can pay for it just for the fight. But to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. What is getting shown. I know it'll be late. I'm pretty late in the. I think I'm first fight on the main card. If they're keeping that, if they keep the lineup the same, because sometimes they change it around. But if they keep it the same, I'll probably be like between 1 in the morning and 3 in the morning, something like that. Because it's in Atlanta, so it's 5 hours behind. But yeah, I'll have more of an update what time and stuff I'll be on and what channel. I'll make sure you're following me on social media, and I'll make sure I put up how to tune in. I'm Stevie Ray MMA on most of my social media if anybody wants to give me a follow.
Great stuff. Stevie, thank you so much for joining me. All the best for your future and your family, and obviously the upcoming fight. I've really appreciated you joining me. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And good luck for the 23rd. And thanks for your honesty and opening up and having a chat with me tonight.
No worries, man. Thank you. Thanks for the time. And hope everybody's enjoying the sun in the UK. It's scorching out there. So
yeah, we've got to make the most of it.
That's it, man.
Cheers.
Right, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
See you now, man.